Last night I got home from work a bit late, so just kind of did a couple projects, didn't film it or anything, but quite simply painted that emblem purple, slapped that back on top of the engine, and then I also I used these brackets actually are what held the brake lines to the firewall, and I was able to bend and drill them out and use them to mount my catch can. I went ahead, so I've got that guy routed around. I've got this one routed down into here. Then when we put the throttle body on, that one will route to the other one. So it's most of the way installed. And tonight we're gonna go ahead and get dirty again, rip back into the brake system and see if we can't get these all installed. Line is here, leads through the fender right here. That's where we're gonna switch this one. And then this is actually gonna get replaced with our braided line. So the fronts are actually effectively getting completely new brake hose. And like I said, our rears are gonna connect down there. The hard lines run the length of the car and pop out right here. So then this section is gonna get the braided in the back. They're braided, they have kind of the rubberized coating. This is the end that connects to the hard line on the chassis. And then instead of a thread in, they actually switch you over to a banjo bolt style fitting for the caliper, which I really like that style. And not only do they give you those banjo bolts, but of course all new gaskets and new bleeder caps as well. So for not a ton of money, it's a very complete kit. So while doing these brake lines, I just realized something else that I don't need anymore is the ABS sensor. For now, I'm probably just gonna disconnect it here and leave the actual sensor in so it doesn't get dirt inside. But then I can take out the wiring, this big bracket, go into the trunk and unplug it. So I'm gonna do that on all four wheels and have that much less wiring. So we've got that nice new braided line on. It is just long enough with the suspension fully drooping with stock suspension, but it's in there, feels great. And then like I showed on the other side, I also deleted the ABS sensor, so that's gone. A little cleanup. Again, in the spirit of anything that is unnecessary on this car gets removed. So to get the rear lines disconnected turns out to be a way bigger hassle than I had thought it would be. Because like I showed you guys, it's way down there. And because of the steering shaft, you cannot get your hand down in there. And I was not prepared. I probably should have just pulled the steering shaft, honestly, now that I'm looking at it, but I didn't. This would also be way easier if the cat was unbolted. I didn't do that either. So this is a massive pain. I do not necessarily recommend doing it the way I did it, but basically I got under here. I had to pull the heat shield from on top of the cat. Then I had to pull some of the covering off of the brake and fuel lines. And then this is actually bolted up onto like just under the firewall. So I got that unbolted. I was able to kind of bend the lines gently, pull the whole thing out, and I got the lines off. So it's gonna be a massive hassle trying to get that back in there and bolted up in the right spot now. And that's where I'm saying I wish I would have found a better way to do this, but I was late and I was frustrated. But basically now I'm going to bolt the new reservoir to rear lines connection up and then get that thing reinstalled. Then we can come up top and knock out the front brake lines as well. I want to get those together, see if I can get the fluid in there and get it bled and everything today. So that's my task. I'm just going to dive in and I'll hopefully show you guys shortly or longly when it's done. It has been a solid more than a couple hours here. As you can see, got my master cylinder back in, got my lines hooked up. This line runs over there, down into here. The other line runs down. Got that all connected back up. That was a nightmare. But you can see pops out here, hooks to my braided lines. So the brake lines are now complete. I'm gonna throw the throttle body and intake back on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start bleeding the brake system out. All right guys, let's wrap it up tonight. It is 10:30. I am tired. That fought so hard, but what we've accomplished, brake system is all together completely and bled. I was fighting with it, couldn't get the lines to bleed right. And then Adam and Grace stopped over for a bit, hung out, and helped me massively. Grace sat in the car and argued with the brake pedal for me while I bled all the lines for about half an hour straight. So brake system is done. Catch can is all connected. Throttle body intake's on. Coolant's partially full. I put about a gallon of coolant in it so far. Because I picked up that Toyota Long Life. So I've got about a gallon in there. So that's all together. Got my upper radiator hose on, of course. And maybe bleed the coolant tomorrow. I've got to move this out of the way because we are installing some tire racks. Family's coming over tomorrow. They're gonna help me so we can get all these up on the wall and out of my way. So, yeah, and then basically next week's goal will be get the fans wired up, troubleshoot anything that's being a problem, because I've obviously disconnected a lot of stuff. There could be a lot of codes, a lot of things I either have to bypass or figure a way to not be a problem. It is together about as much as I could have hoped for tonight. We will leave it there, and yeah, we'll pick this up again soon.